Okay, I'm ready. Hold on. Need to get some form of pillows in here. Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about what happened in June, where I sort of took this unexplained absence for a number of weeks and didn't really talk too much about it and was fairly silent on social and a whole bunch of different things. And today I wanted to not just talk about what happened, but also share a little bit about my healing process and just how I have continued. I'm still in the process, but sort of continuing in the healing process and how I've been since then. I'm not going to start crying already. Nope, not going to happen. This is a difficult video for me to film, and it's one that I feel like is important, which is why I wanted to do it. And I thought it'd be easier this far out, but apparently it's not. Also, for context, I am filming this a number of weeks before it is going to go up. So just in case you're wondering, because there will be a video up on Saturday as well, this is being filmed sort of separate and away from my other content. And this is important to me because I have always and will always film my videos when I am happy and excited. And I feel like that translates really well. And I feel like we're all happy together, hanging out and having fun in videos. And that's really important to me. So I wanted to sort of separate this from everything else that I'm filming. Also, a very important note, this may be content that some people might be sensitive to, and I think that it's important to sort of acknowledge that up at the upfront of this, that this may not be content that everyone wants to listen to and may be really hard for some people. So I just want to state this up front in case this might be something that you might not be comfortable with, and that's okay. You don't need to. You can exit out now if that is easier for you, but I just wanted to sort of provide a little bit of context and warning up front for this. So first, I just want to talk about what happened before getting into sort of what I've been doing since, because I think that's really important. So in the spring of this year, I found out that I was pregnant. And this was really exciting because I had Julia and Luke fairly close together, like they're about 2.5 years apart. And so Chris and I wanted Connor to have someone close in age to him because, for context, Luke is 5.5 and Connor is 16 months. So there's a fairly large age gap at this particular point in their lives. And so it was really exciting. And based on sort of what I thought, when I went in to get an ultrasound, I thought I was 8 weeks along. And I found out that I was only 5.5 weeks along, which was really surprising that I had sort of figured it out very, very early on. But it was really exciting, and I saw like little baby on this, like just this like tiny little speck, and they were just showing me where everything was, but like heartbeat, and it was really exciting. It was also really exciting because two of my sisters-in-law are also due with their first babies. And so they're due like October, November, and then I was due in December. So it was really this fun and exciting, family thing. And the fact that it was a lot earlier on than I had thought sort of explained why up until this point I hadn't really felt any morning sickness, which was something that my doctor was a little concerned about because for all my other pregnancies, I've had some form of feeling ill, except for Julia. It was really the only one where I didn't feel any sort of sickness. And so I started to feel really woozy and very sick, and was taking just a lot of time just sort of lying on the couch and unable to do anything for a number of weeks. That's just how pregnancy is. And I was kind of anticipating that, and I was, still really excited. And then I had my, I'm not sure how it is worldwide, but where I'm from, you need to go in for an ultrasound and blood work between 11 and 13 weeks. So I had booked mine, and it's very specific. Like, you have to have the ultrasound and then you have to have the blood work, and it should be done in the same day. So I went in for my ultrasound, and the ultrasound tech wouldn't show me anything and said baby was at a weird angle, which I didn't really think too much about, but I was still a little nervous, having had the experience of a miscarriage before. I was already on edge. And so she did an internal ultrasound and still said, there's nothing I can show you at this time. You can cancel your blood work. Which, of course, I'm into a panic. I called my doctor because they were like, oh, we'll let you know results and everything in 3 days. And I was like, I can't wait that long. So I called my doctor. She found out the results, and it turns out that I had a missed miscarriage. So essentially, baby stopped growing at 9 weeks and 2 days. And so at this point, I decided to sort of wait it out and let my body just sort of miscarry. And so I had waited about a week, and then started to start the miscarrying process in just sort of like very light bleeding kind of a way. And then it escalated quickly. And I don't think I had mentioned it in my last miscarriage video, because I genuinely thought that's how they went. But it was very scary. I bled a lot and I was hospitalized for that. So when I started to bleed more heavily, I got really scared. And we called my dad to come and hang out with the kids. It was like in the middle of the night when this started happening, and I was getting cramping and all these things going on. And Chris and I had always thought that this baby was a girl. And obviously it's a little early to tell at this point. And so we were really excited about being a girl. And so when I actually saw her, it was really hard. But I was so happy that I got to see her. There was a period of time for about 10-15 minutes where Chris and I held her. And just her little tiny body and little hands and eyes. And just got to grieve and hold her. And I wasn't bleeding or anything for that period. And it felt like a beautiful gift that we had been given to have that period of time with her. And then that's when it got really bad. And I was clotting and bleeding so heavily at that point. And I was waiting in the car, and Chris was basically at the door. The car was running. He was just listening for the monitors, so that the moment my dad pulled into the driveway, Chris booked it and took me. And in hindsight, I probably should have called an ambulance, but didn't know. So we get to the hospital, and I'm wheelchairing myself. Not wheelchairing myself. Chris is wheelchairing me. Wheelchairing, that's not a word. You know what I mean. I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm sort of waiting for the triage nurse to finish with the patient that she was with. It was, I believe, a Sunday night, and there weren't a ton of people, and there weren't a ton of staff members either. And I remember telling Chris that I was going to pass out, and I can usually tell when I'm about to pass out. And so I was sort of hunched over, and then I blacked out. And then when I came to, I don't remember a lot, but I do remember there were suddenly maybe 10 or 15 paramedics and nurses wheeling me in. There was just, it was a lot. I was hooked up to multiple IVs. I was tipped back to help stop the bleeding. They were having me sign forms for like a blood transfusion at this point. My blood rate, my heart rate was dropping. It was really, really scary. So I had to go in for emergency surgery to stop the excessive bleeding. And it was really scary. The surgery was over and I was recovering in the hospital for a while, and then got to come home, and it was still really scary. There was a period of time, I'm still not sleeping well, but there was a period of time where I was scared to go to sleep because at this point I'm still bleeding a little bit. But I didn't know if it was going to happen again. So when things started to settle down a little bit physically, I was talking to Chris and trying to figure out, you know, what I was going to do. Because last time with Michael, I shoved everything down and I didn't deal with it the way that I should have to be mentally and emotionally healthy. And I was just trying to focus instead on, you know, I think at that point it was 3 days until Halloween. I was trying to, you know, have the kids have a normal Halloween. And so I pushed everything down and I didn't deal with the grief and the emotions the way I should have. And I went straight back into filming and work and emails and trying to keep myself really busy because I didn't want to feel the sadness that I felt. And I have gone through since then therapy, which has been really helpful for me in sort of reframing my body and my mind to deal with the emotions that I'm feeling in a healthier way. Because my whole life, I don't like emotions. I don't like feeling them. I don't like other people's like big emotions, and I just get very uncomfortable with addressing them myself. So this time around, I made the decision that I just wanted to take the opportunity to go sort of silent for a while. And I am so grateful and feel really blessed that you guys gave me the opportunity to take that time for myself. And I know not everyone has that opportunity. And I am extraordinarily grateful that I do. And that is not lost on me. And so I took that time the last couple of weeks to heal. And it was very much a roller coaster. And I've never really done this before, where I was having a really bad day and then a really good day, or, you know, relative, and then a terrible day and a good day. And it was mentally very exhausting, but I was allowing myself to feel that and to be okay with not being okay. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I think that's really important, that you're not always going to feel okay. And then sometimes you are going to feel okay. And that's part of the grieving and the healing process. And I feel very blessed and grateful that, you know, Chris was there and we were leaning on each other through these past couple of weeks and taking time for us together. We had incredible support from our family with the kids. And so I've been really focusing these past couple of weeks to, when I'm able, to just take a time out for myself and grieve, whether it's for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour. And so that's really what I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about. Not just about what had happened. And I very much appreciate, by the way, all of the many, many comments and emails and just sweet words of support that I received over the last couple of weeks. Just, respecting my privacy and my time of healing and mourning and just having no expectation. And I can't tell you how much that means to me, because this is something that I really wanted to talk about, because I think that oftentimes we don't talk about miscarriages, and oftentimes the woman is just left to grieve on her own, and or not grieve at all, which was something that I ended up doing. And it can be really detrimental to your mental health to push aside, whether it's a miscarriage or the loss of a loved one in some way, shape, or form, or just feeling sad about anything. And I think if we continue to push that down, it's going to build. And that's what I experienced. And it took a lot of therapy to sort of, it felt like a brick in my stomach. And it didn't matter how much I tried to relax and de-stress. I'd get down to that brick and I couldn't get through it. And so it was because of the work that I did in dealing with that separately that I was able to make incredible gains for myself and my own de-stressing, to deal with that brick that I had. So now I want to make sure that in dealing with difficult things in my life, I want to make sure that I'm taking time to do that properly. And that's really hard for me. I don't like resting. I don't like taking time to just, in my words, do nothing. And sometimes I'd have to, because I was like, oh, I'm feeling better. And I'd go and I'd try and organize a closet or something. And then I would start bleeding again. And then, then I'd be like, okay, well, now I need to rest. Like it became that sort of like my body telling me that, no, you're not ready to get back into things in that way. You need to do this a lot slower. And I don't like doing things slowly. I'm very like go, 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 as you guys know. And so it has been a very important, life-changing mindset shift for me. And that's really what I wanted to share today, is that it's okay to feel those big emotions. And that's what I always tell my kids. It's okay to feel those big emotions, and it's important to feel them so that you don't end up having that brick in your stomach, or just piling up stress and not dealing with it properly. For so long, I was like, I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know what to do with this. I just feel like I'm just crying and that's not doing anything, but it is. And it took me years to figure that out. So I wanted to share that with you today, because I think that that was a really important lesson for me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who struggles with that. So that was what I really wanted to talk about today. And I just needed some space from what had happened and feel like I was fully physically healed, but then making progress mentally to heal. And this is also part of the mental healing for me. And so I really appreciate all of your support, and I appreciate you guys, just going back and watching my old videos. And, this is what I do for a living, and this is how I support my family. And so it means a lot to me when you guys watch my videos and continue to support in that way. It means so much to me. I don't have words. I'm very emotional. And my hope is that this video helps even just one person with what they may be going through. That's why I wanted to do this video. And I really thank you for watching, and all the rest of the videos moving forward. My hope is that we'll continue to be the happy, positive, exciting ones that you guys have been enjoying. And I want you to know that I'm only filming when I am in a positive, happy state of mind, unless it's something like this. And so there will be a new video on RachhLoves life, which I will be filming a little bit later. And we're going to get back into things on RachhLoves next week. So thank you again. And I love you all so much. And I will see you next week. Mwah.